Tadeusz Kosciuszko. Tadeusz Kosciuszko
was born into a household of nobles in the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth. His father was an officer in the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth Army, and his mother was his father's wife. He was the second youngest son of the household, and baptized by the Roman Catholic and the Orthodox Church soon after birth, which led him to a rather religious upbringing. His ancestry, though, has been traced back to Polish royalty, the Grand Duke of Lithuania, Sigismund I, and not to mention, he was also Ruthenian, which is what some people refer to as modern-day Belarusian. Now that we're done with his early life, we get to talk about his life during the war, which wasn't very spectacular. He built forts. His first task was to build forts at Fort Billingsport. You may be wondering, why is he building forts at a fort? That's a good question, one that I don't have the answer to. Let's carry on. The purpose of those forts was to protect the banks of the Delaware River and stop the British from advancing. Maybe they stopped the British from advancing to give them more time to strategize. But I personally theorize that they stopped the British from advancing to protect their glorious American hamburgers. Along with his work at Fort Billingsport, he spent the rest of his American military career building, inspecting, and working on many forts across the American front. In fact, he was so vital in the war against the British that if we did not have some of his forts, we would have lost incredibly important territories that would have eventually cost us the war. So, essentially, you can thank this man for our victory in the American Revolution, which is pretty epic. After he did his work in the American military, he moved back to Poland to help in another war, and then in another war, and then in another war. And eventually, he got tired of doing war stuff, so he moved to Switzerland, home of non-aligned, and he died at the ripe age of 71 by falling off his horse in the town of Solothurn, Switzerland. Long story short, he built forts, he won us the war, he moved to Switzerland, and he died when he became 71. After his death, his slaves in Poland were released, and the will that he left was to spend all of his money releasing American slaves, but that never happened, so nobody knows what happened with the money after America decided to not spend it on releasing slaves. And on this epic moment, I end my also equally epic YouTube video on
Tadeusz Kosciuszko.